Alrighty. Hey guys, so my cousin just texted me and said they dropped the last Star Wars trailer for Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So I wanted to do a proper reaction to it. I got to say up front before we get into it, regardless of how I felt about The Last Jedi, and a lot of us felt, a bad way about The Last Jedi, I'm still excited for this movie. I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, maybe some younger people don't understand the full extent of being a Star Wars fan for life. Like, again, this was my first love. This is the first movie I ever saw in a theater back in 1977. And so this has been a 40-year journey. So I know a lot of people think it's just a movie or whatever, but it means something to a lot of people, which is why a lot of us are so passionate about it. And when they do stuff like, they did to The Last Jedi, it breaks our hearts. I mean, some of us grew up wanting to be a Jedi, or in my case, a Sith, whatever. Some of us had the toys, and who knew they'd be worth a fortune after we sold them off at yard sales. But anyway, I'm still excited about it. I'm cautiously optimistic, so I hope they do this right and try to undo some of that stuff they did in The Last Jedi, at least correct it in some way the best they can. So I'm hopeful that Disney is getting the message from people, not saying do exactly what I want or whatever. It's George Lucas's story, but stick to his original vision. He's not the greatest director either. The prequels, tell us that as well with the, some of the dialogue especially kind of cheesy. But it still is a coherent story that he envisioned, 40 years ago. So this is a pretty damn long journey. So anyway, here we go. The final ever Star Wars trailer for the main saga, anyway, for this Skywalker saga that we all fell in love with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. All right, here we go. All right, looks like
it's an instinct.
Let's go through the whole thing, then we'll bring it back, we'll bring it back and try to break it down. All right, here we go.
A feeling.
So Luke's talking to her. Hopefully she's
together,
being trained Force Ghost style.
We're not alone.
See, Lando.
People will fight if we lead them.
I mean, it's going to be beautiful, regardless.
No one does.
But I do.
Oh, wow, look at that. It's got like clouds.
Have I waited?
Oh, Ian McDermott.
You're coming together.
I love his voice.
Is your undoing.
Undoing?
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir. At
Oh.
my friends.
No, 3PO.
Confronting fear. It's the destiny of a Jedi.
Leia.
Your destiny.
That's some badass looking horses. What the hell was that? Okay, we'll back that up in a minute. Now see, those are Imperial Death Stars. Those are not the First Order. Oh, there he is.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Oh, that was Leia's voice. That was Luke and Leia. All right, I think that's it. Okay. All right, damn. I gotta say, I'm telling you, man. I'm excited about this. I mean, just seeing that right there and hearing Luke, I'm a guess training Rey. See, right here's what I'm talking about. Luke sounds, with this little voice over there. I'm assuming he's talking to Rey during training, Force Ghost style. I'm going to assume. I could be wrong. But that's what I mean. The way he's talking to her now, he's confident, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to the last movie where he was like, just he ran off and disappeared and he didn't want to come back and get involved in anything. That's the Luke Skywalker that we remember as far as the protagonist of this story. So That's the Luke I want. You know, that confident sounding, you know, now he should be the Obi-Wan Kenobi role, right? He should be the older, you know, wise Jedi, you know, master or whatever that helps Rey with her training. So I'm digging it so far. Let's back it up. Let's back it up and see if we can, you know, pause it and pick out a few things, maybe break down a few things. I won't pretend to know it all, obviously. They have a lot going on. So we started with here. I think this is going to be a training montage. We saw the previous teaser, so this is going to be the planet that Rey is on, apparently training. She's got the little training droid in the previous teaser, so that's probably a helmet where, you know, she blinds herself like Luke did back in A New Hope on the Millennium Falcon. And I think Luke will be here on this planet. They're not going to show him in this teaser, I don't think, but this will be kind of the Dagobah thing that Luke went through with Yoda on Dagobah. So I'm assuming this is Rey's Dagobah. At least that's the way I'm seeing it. So let's see what we got. Yeah, that's that little training droid shooting at her. She's badass. She's moved on now to... That's probably the interior of the Death Star, because we do see that on the other teaser where they fight on top of the remains of the second Death Star that's in the ocean. So I'm assuming that's what that is. So on some mission here, I guess. Probably trying to still discover what the hell's going on. Maybe Luke's told her to go check something out. I don't know. Because we see Kylo come and fight her there. So they're after something. Some relic, some Jedi relic, some Sith relic, who knows. So she's on some mission here.
The Force brought us together.
Okay, we had Finn there looking at something. Obviously, there's going to be some side stories and everything. So this is back. It looks like the planet here that Rey's training on. The Resistance here. There's Lando, one of my all-time favorite characters. Lando Calrissian's back. I'm so excited to see him and Chewie back together. He's kind of replacing Han Solo a little bit, I guess, for him and Chewie to fly around the Millennium Falcon. So really excited to see Lando back. So he's going to be obviously a leader here in the Resistance. He's an old school general. So let's see what happens with him.
Not alone.
Poe giving a speech. There's Rose. She's back. There's what I mean. Okay, so there's the remains of the Death Star. So I'm assuming that other shot was maybe her inside of that, going to look for something on this Death Star. Because remember, the Emperor Palpatine, he kept, you know, Sith relics and stuff like that. So there's maybe something they're searching for. Just a guess. I have no inside information, obviously. But maybe she's there for a reason, and Kylo is tracking the same thing. They got this mind link thing going on, I believe. But it's interesting what the Emperor says when he starts talking.
They know me. No one does.
She's pissed.
But I do.
Now, this right here is gorgeous. Now, I don't think this is a reflection on a lake. I think this is an actual floating iceberg in space or something, because the bottom is not the same as the top. So at first glance, I thought this is some kind of big ice island somewhere, and that's a reflection on the water or something. And maybe it could be, but the bottom seems to have more formations or something. So like it reminds me of Cloud City is what it's reminding me of. So they may echo that a little bit. So these are TIE fighters obviously heading towards some new location. This looks badass, though. That's just a gorgeous shot. Regardless of what happens in the movie, it's going to be visually stunning. There's just no way around it. All right, here we go. Now, this is what I'm excited about. There's this throne, and this is not Snoke's throne. I don't know what it is, but obviously the Emperor starts talking. So they could be throwing us for a loop here, and maybe this is something else. Maybe this is... Because we had the Prime Jedi stuff going on in The Last Jedi, so there's something about the Prime Jedi and, you know, like the first Jedi ever, and it was about balance. I'm assuming this is what we all thought as far as where they're headed with this whole thing about balance, as far as, you know, no more Jedi, no more Sith, just kind of balanced light side, dark side, like it used to be in the old canon and in the history and the lore. So they could be, you know, they're implicating here with Palpatine starting to speak that this is his throne, like this is where he's been hanging out. Maybe it is, but I'm always excited to hear Ian McDiarmid playing Palpatine, his voice. It's just, it gives me the chills, because it's like, even though I didn't think it was a good idea, and probably still don't, for him to be back, unless in some way it makes sense that I'm just not thinking about as far as Palpatine coming back. If he did end up surviving, you know, when Vader killed him and let Snoke take over the First Order and all this other shit, I'm just curious about what the hell's been going on. So this is implicating this is some throne of his.
Have I waited?
Long have I waited.
And now,
Now, wait a minute. Now, see, this is a Death Star coming out from underground. So this is implying that this has certainly been the Emperor and the Empire hiding out. So the question is, if there's a separate empire with, their own fleet of Star Destroyers like we saw in the original teaser, which was a lot of Star Destroyers. These are not the First Order ships. Are they going to be enemies? Like, the First Order versus the Empire, as far as to fill the void of power in the galaxy? I don't know, but that was definitely underground. It's like this was his ship in hiding.
you're coming together.
Classic shots here. The fight on the Death Star.
Is your undoing.
So, undoing. So, you're coming together is your undoing, is what Palpatine's saying. So, obviously, he's having a speech here, probably in, like we saw at the very end, where we see his cloak, like he's floating up above Rey or something like that. So, this is probably him talking to Rey, I'm going to imagine, or both of them, for that matter. Because I think that's probably where they're going again with the balance thing. Rey on the light side, Kylo on the dark side, and they somehow come together with this connected mind thing they got going on. And this is a cute little fucker. I don't know what this is fixing C-3PO. But 3PO, their last, this is the last we're going to see of 3PO and R2, I think.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir.
Anthony Daniels is C-3PO one last
At my
time.
friends.
Oh. Let's see, those are First Order troops, obviously.
Confronting fear.
Leia,
The destiny.
they have to kill the character Leia, I think, because in the end we heard the Force will be with you from Luke, and then always, that's Leia's voice. So I think they have to kill off the Skywalker line or whatever, if that makes any sense. I don't know about Kylo, since he is the son of Leia and Han, but we'll see. I think we're going to find out, though, that Rey was created like Anakin was, as far as the Force itself. Probably via Plagueis or Palpatine or both, however they want to do it. I think that's where we're going with the whole Rey parentage thing.
You're the Jedi.
It kind of looks cool. I mean, it's a colorful, paintball fight they're having there. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Obviously, it's going to be important, I'm assuming, side mission to do something. Maybe they have to disable some shield generator. No, please don't. Don't repeat everything.
Your destiny.
Now, see, here we go. We got Rey and Kylo in the old throne room. This is the old throne room on the Death Star. So they did meet up, in fact, on this planet. So they're after something. They're after some, I'm just going to assume it's a Sith relic or some Jedi relic or something that was on this Death Star. So Luke maybe sent her here, or she figured something out, and Kylo also got on the same because they've got this hive mind going on. So maybe whatever she's thinking, he can sense it, and vice versa. So they're definitely looking for something here on this old Death Star. So that's going to be interesting to find out what they're looking for, and if they do, in fact, team up somehow. I don't know. Now, what is this? They're working together here, obviously, and this is some kind of vision. I don't know where this is. It's somewhere very new and clean looking. Maybe this is the place we saw that kind of reminds me of Cloud City, the big iceberg floating in space thing. But I don't know exactly what that is. It's hard. Let me try to back that up. I can't really tell. I can't pause it in time to see, but it's some kind of, it's not like a droid or something. I can't tell. Maybe it's just an old, it looks like a statue. I'm not really sure, but they're both whacking on it. Now, see, here was what I was talking about. These are Imperial Star Destroyers. These are not First Order ships here. These are the old school Emperor Palpatine controlled Imperial Navy. So I'm not sure what's going on, as if there will be a First Order versus the old Empire type thing going on too. So it might be a three-way game here, as opposed to just the Resistance versus everybody. Now, this is what I was saying. Here's Palpatine. You can see the edge of his hood there, his cloak. I don't know what's on his, I think he's sitting on probably that throne, but it's hard to tell. There's some kind of light there. I was thinking at first he was floating on something, but I think he's just sitting up high on some kind of chair. And this is probably where he's going to have this little speech that we hear, if it even is a line in the movie, because sometimes they do voiceovers for trailers that are not necessarily in the film. So, but I'm assuming that will take place, and this is where he says all this. I don't know where Kylo is. Is he dead here? Is he not there yet? Is he, by his side, trying to become his new apprentice? I have no idea, but this is probably where that speech is going to take place. But he mentions you two coming together. So I'm really curious. Like I said, I didn't think initially, and I'm not sure I still do, think it was a great idea to have Palpatine back, but obviously they're going in that direction, so at least make it good and make it make sense.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Now that was Leia. So that was definitely Leia's voice when Luke said the Force would be with you, and she says always. So I'm going to assume here at this point Leia has been killed or sacrifices herself or something, and then she can always commune with Rey just like Luke can, assuming he's dead as well. Because Leia was trained as a Jedi to a degree. She just decided to stay away from the formal training after a while and go be the leader in general of the Resistance and all that stuff. Anyway, definitely think that that's got to go anyway for to close it out properly. And I think we'll probably see the end of the Skywalker line. So I don't know how they're going to do Kylo, but I'm just guessing. The Rise of Skywalker. They'll tell us about the beginnings of Anakin and Rey being a kind of a parallel of him. And then I think they got to get rid of the whole line. So I'm just my opinion. And I think that's it. I mean, this looks great. I mean, like I said before, regardless of what they do with the movie, I hope they can fix some of the things that Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi and make some things make sense at least. So I'm cautiously optimistic about it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. But regardless of what they do, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful. I mean, you can't deny that. The cinematography and all that will be outstanding. Anyway, so yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. So just keep your political messaging out of it. Just worry about the good characters, and all us old school Star Wars fans will be perfectly fine. As long as it makes sense for the characters that we all came to love in this whole entire 40-year trek. In a galaxy far, far away. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. As usual, thank you for all the support, especially you guys on Patreon. And a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers. And if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And of course, be sure to subscribe to get everything and click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.